Okay. Nama Buddhaya Bante.
Nama Buddhaya. May you be well and happy Vesak.
Bohomapin Bante. Today we are meeting with Bante to talk about Buddha's life. We was thinking that because we are close to Vesak, it will be a good topic to talk about. After we finish this program, there will be Polish subtitles as well. So Bante, I can see that also background there are these Vesak celebration decoration prepared. So if Bante can talk very shortly about Vesak for our viewers.
Okay. Nama Buddhaya, and may my homage to my teacher. It's a pleasure for me to discuss this Dhamma and to pass the Buddha's message to the devotees living in Poland, so in Polish language. And for that we have Aga from Poland, and we have Hansaja, son Hansaja from Sri Lanka joining for the Dhamma discussion. So Vesak is the day on the Vesak Full Moon Poya day. The Buddha who taught this Dhamma was born. And then after he was born, after spending 35 years, at the age of 35 years, he became a Buddha. Now, living with an ordinary understanding about life, he was able to understand, truly understand, and to have a clear comprehension and to know what life is, the nature of this life, the nature of past lives, the nature of future births. And also Buddha was able to recognize the true nature of the mind, how mind works, and the reason for suffering, and the reality of life on a Vesak day, on the full moon Poya day that is falling on this month. Now this month it's falling on 26th. So on that day, the prince, after becoming a monk, after giving up the royal palace, on the same day, just as he was born on that day, the Bodhisattva, the prince, became a Buddha. And then after becoming a Buddha, for 45 years, the Buddha preached the teachings he realized on his own without a guidance of a teacher. And after preaching that Dhamma, he was able to create monks, nuns, and people who are virtuous, who can easily give up sensual pleasures and dedicate their life to practice wholesome qualities. So after creating 4 good groups like that in this world, after teaching Dhamma to the Devas and Brahmas, on the same day, on a full moon Poya day like Vesak, he passed away forever. And you call it attaining Mahaparinibbana. So all these 3 special moments, occasions, took place on the Vesak full moon Poya day. In this month, in this month of May, on the full moon Poya day, it happened.
So it's very special day for all.
Extremely special. There's no special person will be born on such a full moon Poya day other than the Buddha. It was only the Buddha who was born out of compassion towards Devas, Brahmas, humans, and all the living beings.
So if it's so special day, so what's the good way of spending this day, celebrate this day?
So, Aga, it's a good question you asked how to celebrate, because some people, for their festivals, they kill animals and sprinkle blood, and they think it's a sacrification, and they think they are making their gods happy. But here on the Vesak full moon Poya day, on the day Buddha was born, on the day Buddha realized his Dhamma, on the day Buddha passed away, we celebrate that day by becoming virtuous. and then by being mindful. And then there are two ways. One thing is by practicing his Dhamma, and the other way is by making offerings to the Buddha. There are two ways: by practicing and then making offerings to the Buddha. So we make offerings, like we make, like usually we offer flowers, but on the Vesak Full Moon Poya Day, we make lanterns, like we have made, like you see behind me. So we make them. In Sri Lanka, you will see various types of lanterns, pandals. We can add to the video in between. You can find for pandals, you call them torang in Sinhala. And then in Sinhala, you know, the one that you see in the screen, behind the screen, you call it Vesak Kudu. Vesak Kudu. In English, we call it Vesak lanterns. So we make these things to offer it as offering. If I tell you a small example, a reason, even when the Buddha was alive, once one upasika, one lady, made a monastery for the monks. And then she donated the monastery with a beautiful garden, but in the trees, there were no fruits. So there was a mango tree, there were some mango trees. Since there were no fruits, she made some mangoes with paper, with some substance. And then she hung all the mangoes. And then after she died, she was born among devas. After she was born among devas, in her mansion in the divine world, there were beautiful mango trees and there were mangoes, but not the natural mangoes. So whatever she offered, she got in the same way. But there's something to beautify her garden. Throughout the year, she had mangoes, even when it was not the season. Because some fruits you get only in the season, right? But in divine worlds, we don't know whether there's fruits in season or not. But then throughout the lifetime, she had those mangoes. So today, if we offer a lantern to the Buddha, you will get happiness, and it's joyful. Like we made a lantern in our monastery. It's 13 feet height.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 3 feet. The lantern is 3 feet, and you can see the, what do you call it? Sinhala we call it rally, and then in English, I don't have a proper word for that. Lojanaputa or Hansaja, can you give a proper name for it, for the hanging things, the strings or whatever it is? Do you have a good?
Swaminathan, we could call them strings, like
strings, yeah. So to make it like you know, like even a horse, when there's a ponytail, it looks beautiful, right? So we put strings to the lanterns, and then the strings were like 6 feet height in the lantern we made in the monastery. So we are hoping to make 100 lanterns and to hang in our monastery.
100?
Yes, yes, as a veneration to the Buddha.
Okay, so one of the things people may do to celebrate Vesak is to make lanterns and offer to the Buddha, or they also can offer flowers, correct?
Yeah. So like Vesak, like to remember, okay, it's Vesak. Like when you make lanterns, like it's celebrating, okay, it's the Vesak. Like people will get the idea that, okay, it's Vesak, it's Vesak. And one thing, we make lanterns to remind ourselves that we are celebrating Vesak now. And also to offer it to the Buddha.
Okay, so those two things. And any other thing to celebrate, or like during this full moon Poya Day?
Yeah, people do a lot of charity work. Like people are like, now this time it's because of the pandemic. Usually people, they go on pilgrimage on the Vesak day. They visit special places in Sri Lanka. They visit to see beautiful pandals and lanterns. Like pandals, they have fixed lights, and they teach the Buddha's life story. There are huge pandals, like about 100 feet height pandals. We can add those inserts to this video. And so people go to visit these pandals. People visit the Ruwanali Mahastupa, and some people go to India to worship the places where Buddha was born and Buddha became a Buddha, and the place to worship the place where Buddha passed away. So So since people are moving around and traveling around whole day, there are a lot of dansals. You call them in Sinhala dansal. And people offer free food, free drinks. Sometimes when we don't stop the vehicles, people stop by force and give free food. So you can insert some videos of Sri Lanka dansals. So by force, they take a flag and they raise the flag, and then they move the flag to stop. They move the flags to stop the vehicles. So they really, they go across the road and block the road, and they give food by force, and they enjoy a lot by practicing generosity. And that's how they celebrate the Buddha's birth, the Buddha's enlightenment, and the Buddha's great passing away.
But that sounds very good, and I'm thinking about the viewers in Poland, because we do not have such a celebration and occasion and stupas here, but for sure we can offer flowers to the Buddha if we have a statue at home. We can either make decoration, and we can also offer the Buddha. We can also do donation.
They can bring a lot of flowers. They can bring a lot of flowers and decorate on that day, and they can learn about the Buddha's birth, and they can learn about the Buddha's enlightenment and the Buddha's passing away. They can read the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, and on the Vesak day, they can observe 8 precepts and join for our programs as well, and then dedicate that day for the Buddha. And then they can offer milk rice to the Buddha on the day Buddha became an enlightened being. Especially, you can think of the Buddha's great realization. We'll discuss in this program, what are the knowledges he gained to become a Buddha.
Can Bante remind the viewers who maybe don't know or don't remember what are the 8 precepts that they can observe?
Yeah. So the 8 precepts are, well, we are observing 8 precepts on the full moon Poya day. That's especially to follow the great lives of Arahants, to follow the monk's life. And one of the main precepts that is followed by monks, and that was followed by the Buddha, is the celibate precept. Celibate precept, that means abstaining from all the sexual activities, living a celibate life. So on the Vesak full moon Poya day, if we can follow that precept, that is a great veneration to the Buddha. So I'll tell the 8 precepts. First one is abstaining from killing living beings and giving life. Okay, so abstaining killing living beings and giving life. Second one is abstaining from stealing. So third one is abstaining from sexual activities, all the sexual activities. And then fourth one is abstaining from telling lies, not even for a joke, not even for the sake of life. Fifth one is abstaining from taking alcohol, intoxicating drinks and drugs. Now, you would have seen in some festivals, people celebrate by taking alcohol and intoxicating drinks and drugs. It's a major thing. And the sixth one is we should give up eating after midday, after 12 p.m. We should give up eating. We can only take a soft drink that is filtered juice, not even milk, or not even a soup, even not even a vegetable soup or anything. And it's just to be content and follow the lives of great Arahants. And the next precept is abstaining from watching entertainment, listening to music, dancing, and then Natcha Gita Vadita Visuka Dasana. So abstaining from dancing and entertainment and beautifying yourself, that you should give up, and live a simple life. And then the last one is abstaining from using luxurious, comfortable seats and beds. So those are like not the normal chairs, but then on that day it's better to like sit on a simple chair and then sleep on a simple bed and just live a a wonderful life that is suitable for meditation and that is detached from sensual pleasures. Because when you observe 8 precepts, okay,
We were talking about the 8 precepts.
Yeah. So when you observe 8 precepts, you will be controlling your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. Now see, like imagine when you go to a restaurant, like sometimes when they go to a restaurant or to a party, imagine a boy or a girl. So what happens, like, do they only look at one place or do they like look around when they're seated?
They usually look around as well.
Look around and they see someone beautiful. Then they again see it. Then again they look around. Then they again see someone. Then they feel like talking. Their relationships develop. And if they're unable to talk, they feel upset and they have the urge. So forget about a party. Imagine when you're traveling in the road, going in a vehicle, people just look around and travel. What happens? Whatever he sees, he will get attached, and then like there's no concentration in the mind. So like in Sri Lanka, there are situations like people just look here and there and go, and then they hit in the vehicle in the front. So they crash the vehicle in the front. That's because no controlling of eyes. And even in a classroom, they don't look at the lecturer very well. They look here and there. So that's because they're not controlling the eye. And when some people gossip, they hear it. That means they're not controlling the eye. Like imagine they're teaching something, they're learning something valuable, but while he's listening to something valuable, someone else might start gossiping. Then we might hear that gossip. Then while learning, now these days people are learning at home. So when the mother is cooking, what happens when you get a good fragrance, when you smell a good smell that would taste very well, then you'll forget the class and go to the kitchen. So that is no control in the nose. When you observe 8 precepts, you won't watch entertainment. So you're controlling the eye. And then ears, you are not listening to songs. You'd abstain from listening to songs. Then abstaining from sexual activities. That means all the comfort that you get to your body and the pleasures that you get to your body, you're giving up that. So just imagine if every day you can live without that comfort. See, that means you're not depending any happiness from external world. Now, some people, when the husband or wife is not with them, they miss them. They feel lonely. But that loneliness is not there when you can live a celibate life. And if they cheat each other, they can't bear it. If they cheat each other, they feel disgusted. But if you give up the desire to engage in sexual activities at all, then all those sufferings will be eliminated. And then the fourth one, abstaining from telling lies. So when you tell lies, now people tell lies to earn extra money, to survive, like because they have desires to their life. So they want to maintain their job. All because of sensual pleasures, people lie. And even alcohol and drugs, giving pleasure to their body. And then eating after 12, abstaining from eating after 12. So you're controlling the tongue. You are giving up, pleasure to the tongue. So you eat on that day, actually in the morning, in the afternoon you eat, before 12 you eat. But that is to overcome hunger, not for enjoying. Now some people, they eat in the morning, afternoon twice, in the evening another meal, then in the night another meal. That is to enjoy. So Buddha's disciples eat to overcome hunger and to survive, to practice this Dhamma. Then, of course, the next precept is abstaining from all these music, dancing, and then giving up luxurious, comfortable seats and beds. So when you control these things, you will control. When you give up giving pleasure and happiness to this body, and to the other sense faculties, of course, you will have to control your mind. Like to give up using these things, to give up chasing after these sensual pleasures, you need to control your mind. So when you observe 8 precepts, you will be controlling the 6 sense faculties. If you're controlling the 6 sense faculties, when you control the 6 sense faculties, you will be abandoning a lot of bad karma. And you'll be eliminating bad karma, and you'll be living a life that is leading to Nibbana. That is what we should do on the Vesak Full Moon Poya Day. So observing 8 precepts is not something simple. It might look like 8 precepts. It might look like 8 things to follow, but millions of things are working internally.
All these external factors and our 6 faculties. So basically what we can do whenever we leave to celebrate Vesak, it's to offer to the Buddha. We can also give dana. We can give also to other people.
Yes.
We can observe 8 precepts.
Yes.
That it's
Or 10
very
precepts
beneficial.
better.
Or even 10 precepts if we can. It's celebrating the Vesak, plus it's guarding our faculties and giving us more happiness. And we also can meditate. Yes, I think.
Must meditate.
And
So
we even must meditate.
Yeah. So when we control the 6 sense faculties, it will be easy for us to meditate. Why? There's nothing to regret. There's no worries, no extra, like like strong desires to engage in sensual pleasures. So your mind is free to meditate. Now, usually people can't concentrate their mind. That's because they have a lot of desires. Now here we have cut down many desires with the help of precepts.
So basically also not only we generating merit during the Vesak because we venerate Buddha, but also we helping ourselves to decrease the distraction in mind and to understand the Dhamma, the teachings of the Buddha better.
Yes.
That's very good celebration, that it's really helpful for us to be more happy, to generate more good merit to our lives, and also to remember what is important in our life. So Vesak is 26, and the question, if in Poland we don't have a free day at this day, can people celebrate in different day, in the weekend?
Well, if you can't observe 8 precepts on that day, you can observe 8 precepts in the weekend. There's no harm in that. What you can do, but yet you can offer a oil lamp or a bowl of water, and think of the Buddha and chant Paticca Chant Paticca. That's what Buddha realized on the day he became a Buddha. And then even while observing 5 precepts, at least if he or she can dedicate some time early morning, wake up early morning, meditate a little bit, and then worship the Buddha in the morning, and think of these 3 special occasions on that day, even that would be fine.
Okay, that's very helpful, I think, Bante.
And then a person could observe 5 precepts with the celibate precept as well. Like the 3rd precept is that means abstaining from engaging in sexual misconduct. That means if that person is married, he's allowed to enjoy sensual pleasures with the wife or the husband. But then a person who does not have an environment to abstain from eating after 12, he can observe 5 precepts, and then he can take the 3rd precept as the celibate precept, and then avoid from sexual activities on that day, and then dedicate the life to the Buddha.
Yes, that's very good advice for those who cannot observe fully 8 precepts, but they can like at least celebrate, have the celibate precepts.
Yeah. So they can also like give up like other what do you call like watching unnecessary things and then like listen to music and just live a simple life even if you're not observing a precept. Yeah.
Okay, that's very good. Okay, so I think for the next program we can discuss the realization of the Buddha, because it's very important to understand what the enlightenment really means, because maybe a lot of viewers know that Buddha is an enlightenment being, but then they may be not 100% aware what does it mean. So we for sure can touch this point in the next episode, I think, Bante.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to discuss today this topic that is very important and help us to generate a lot of. So we are very happy that we can discuss today's topic about the Vesak, that really help us to know how to spend this day in a mindful way, to spend this day in the way that will be very helpful for us to decrease our craving and generate a lot of good karma. So we are very grateful for Bante, who was really helpful and explain the topic for us, especially for those who are not living in the Buddhist country, give a lot of good advices that we can follow. So really thank you, Bante, for the meeting today.
Okay. Nama Buddhaya. Nama Buddhaya.
Nama
Happy Vesak.
Buddhaya.